So, hello everybody. Once again, I am Bill Wagner, and in my ongoing quest to find the newest and the awesomest stuff, I run into a lot of people on the internet from all over the world. And when I say all over the world, I do really mean all over the world. Today I have with me the CEO of Pine Leaf Studio. His name is Hans. And I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. He's from Trondheim, Norway. And Scandinavian last names are often difficult to pronounce, and and I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name because it's a series of consonants. It's this long series of consonants that I can't even put together. So I have with me Hans. He's going to introduce himself. We're going to talk about his game that is interesting concept, and it takes no problem, and it takes us into a new genre, I think, that people will enjoy. So Hans, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. My name is Hans Andreas Sakrier Kleven, and I'm the CEO of Pine Leaf Studio.
That is, I won't even try to pronounce the last name. For anybody that wants to know more about the studio, go to pineleafstudio.com. You'll see all their information. And what originally attracted me to your game, which is called Dwarfheim.
Yeah.
It's sort of an amalgamation of a couple different concepts put into real-time strategy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So sort of talk about how you came up with Dwarfheim, and then sort of talk about, from what I know about when it comes to developing products, the first idea that you come up with is completely different from the last idea that you actually publish, right?
Oh, that's so true. We had no idea what we were actually going to make when we started this. We met by accident, a group of 8 people who actually had no idea how to make games at Norwegian Game Awards kickoff. And then we met a guy who had a napkin, and he wanted to make a team-based game in which one person played an RTS and another person played a mobile game. And this was, of course, set in the Tolkien universe based on The Hobbit.
Okay.
Yeah, so he planned to get the license and everything, and it was just a huge scope. And he was so charismatic that he got all of these interesting people to join him. And it was very early on decided that this could never become a game. This was just going to be kind of like a concept thing for the competition. Hopefully we would win something, and after that we would maybe do something else, maybe have some fun and just try to do something. But we got to the contest, we had the kind of concept finished, and we presented it, and we competed against like finished games and stuff like that. But we won the concept award. But not only that, we were also 2 votes from being the gamer's choice, and this was against like fully finished games. So we decided that, okay, maybe there's something here. And at that time, it was still kind of like we decided it was going to be an RTS, but we hadn't quite figured out what the team aspects really meant. We wouldn't figure that out until 2 years later, when we kind of had a working prototype and we were still working on our free time with this. And we were so lucky that we met Tim Schafer and we told him the idea, and he kind of realized what we were doing instantly. And he was just like, the first thing he said to us when we tried to pitch him was, don't make an RTS. There's nothing new to make in an RTS. So, of course, that scared us a bit. And we pitched him the idea, and he just, holy shit. Do you know what you guys have? You guys are basically doing the cooperation from World of Warcraft in an RTS.
Right.
And that kind of got us on track to where we are today, where we're making RTS that features asymmetric cooperation.
Okay, so sort of walk me through what that actually looks like, because we can label it with fancy words, but if it does,
Yeah.
if those fancy words don't actually have a picture in somebody's brain, then it doesn't really feel like a real thing. So what does that exactly mean? It's obviously team based. You have whether 4 players or 5 players on a team. Some people have certain roles and some people don't, right?
Yes.
Okay, so sort of walk me through the roles in the 5v5 and talk about how they all work together.
Yeah, well, we found out that there were basically a couple of things that we really liked in a strategy game, and some people liked some things, and other kind of focused on other things. And we made these 4 classes: the diplomat, the builder, the miner, and the warrior. And we based them on different games. So, for example, the miner is very focused on um, gathering resources and digging mines. So it's very focused from Dungeon Keeper. You have this layout in the underground where you kind of have to dig out resources and you have to build machinery in that can refine them, kind of like in Factorio. And you have the builder who focus on farming and defensive building as well as healing abilities. You have the warrior who focus on killing creeps and doing kind of like offensive raids on the enemy as well as protecting the city. And you have the diplomat who does trade routes and trading to kind of like get rare resources to create unique items and stuff like that.
Okay. So you're taking concepts from real-time strategy games that are more so you're actually taking from 3 genres. You have the real-time strategy with the actual where you have where you real-time strategy where you have an army, and your army goes against the opponent's army, and then you also have the resource concepts of games like a Civilization, where you can't really have a strong army if you don't have a strong foundation. So you have to have good trade routes. You have to spend time on your technology tree. You have to spend time on research, and then you have the third concept of like a MOBA where certain people work good in certain roles. So you're not going to send the person who's your builder. You're not going to send them into battle just as much as you're not going to have the warrior class go into the mines, right?
Yeah. So it's very kind of like how we like to work ourselves. We like to find, like, our team is very diverse. We have people who are extremely interested in one-on-one field, and we found this to work really good in the game as well. When we had playtesting, people often like felt that they preferred one role and really like playing one role, and yeah.
Okay. So what first comes to my brain is it the 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 people that you're going to have on a team are going to be extremely diverse of personalities. Somebody who likes to play it just seems to me like somebody who likes to play the 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 person who likes to battle, the warrior, is going to have a completely different thought process of the person who's a builder, and someone who's a builder might be a little bit more more detail oriented, and then this person who's the the miner is going to have a different thought process where he thinks along the lines for both the warrior and the builder, and then you need to decide if you're going to have a more defensive posture or an offensive posture. And it just seems like that while the characters in the game have to work together, that the personalities outside the game also have to find some common ground. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and they all have to share the resources, so there's kind of like a tug battle as well.
So that's an interesting thought process. So in the game, so as far as the game tests that you've had, and you watch people play the game, is there a certain what am I trying to say? Are there certain themes that sort of come up once in a while?
Well, yeah, we see that there's often kind of like discussions about what strategy that team should take, because often people want to focus on their strategy that benefits their class the most. So they kind of like
Right.
so you find that people often find the leader in those groups very fast, which is kind of fun. You see the testers play, and there's kind of like one guy who automatically kind of like takes control after a little bit because they have to, because it's so competitive. And we had one of the fights, like strategies kind of like they change, and since it's so new, there's nobody who's actually found a good strategy yet, and people change them really fast. And we had one fun event where we had the testers versus developers. And one thing is that developers didn't know the game in and out. They know all the concepts, they know how everything works. But the testers, they know how to play it and how to use it into their advantage. So the developers had kind of like spent a lot of time finding like a grand strategy that they wanted to try. And it was called a mine rush. That's where you take all your warriors and all your kind of like offensive units, and you take them down into the mine, and you use the miners to just kind of like, you buy a lot of miners very early on, and you use them to kind of like dig through the underground and rush the enemy base. But there was a bug in the game that the players had found. They could easily tell if the enemy team was trying to do that, which involved audio. And since they had that knowledge, they knew how to counter that technology. So that was the fastest match ever witnessed, and it lasted like 5 minutes, and the developers were crushed. Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
Test is just kind of like, oh, they're doing one of those to just kind of like route them down and destroy them. It was over.
Interesting. So each group has their strengths and weaknesses, and they know, because it's the same. It's that perfect concept. Somebody who makes the game knows how the game works and how it should work, and then there's the people that actually play the game and play games on a regular basis, and they find certain certain indicators in the game that when you put two or three of them together, you can tell what the other person is doing, and you don't even have to try very hard, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so these matches that you play are from, as far as their length, are they? So is the average match like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or longer?
Well, the quickest we've had is, as I said, like 5 minutes. But that's a fluke. We usually have matches that last about like 30 to 45 minutes. And I think the longest we've had is about like over 90 minutes. So you can kind of get to a standstill, but we do have a condition that if you get to 90 minutes, the game should end.
Okay. So from the aspect of the person who would watch this, somebody who so I'm watching these sides go at it. You know, I see both of them. I can see their strategies and their movements. What is it about this game versus something like StarCraft? I mean, I love StarCraft. That is my game, and I
Oh
am
yeah.
hardcore into it. I can spot strategies, and I can spot people who are good at it. So what it for a person who watches games for the sheer entertainment value of it, what is it about this game, about the game that you've developed that that you've seen that sort of draws people into it?
The human cooperation,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah. Um, the thing is that when you get a team together of multiple person doing different things, um, you kind of have to trust that they can do the thing. For example, in Counter Strike, you kind of have to, when you kind of give someone an area to defend, you have to trust that when you turn your back, that they're going to hold it, right? So here you have to trust people that they can do their job, so you can do yours.
Right.
And these creates kind of like a fun dynamic to see. You see the team have to actually learn to play together, and you see them have to overcome together, and it creates a very, very um, interesting viewing experience. Like, for example, when you watch these large esport games, you kind of see how well they do the cooperation element. You see how they
Mm-hmm.
kind of like show all the team members and how they are important for the game. Even in, for example, a MOBA, where you see the support, how important they are to the game for the team to survive. And with that's kind of the element that we feel have been missing from RTS. We all kind of like love Age of Empires and StarCraft, but it's this the team element that we felt missed.
See, and that's really interesting because I watch StarCraft constantly, and one of the things that the casters always say to each other while the people are playing is, the question that they try to answer for the viewer is, so they made this move in response to a different move. So they're thinking what? Because they're trying to figure out what they're thinking, because a good StarCraft player doesn't just think the next step, they think the second step, and
Yeah,
they think at least two or three steps. So if I make this decision here, I have to think two or three moves down the road. What am I going to do? Because if you just spend your time as a competitor responding to the person opposite you, then you're not actually trying to win. You're trying not to lose. So the
yeah,
object is to win. So okay, so if I respond this way to this unit being created, what am I going to do to turn that table back at him again? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So so as far as events, now you've done testers versus developers, and so as far as larger scale things where you invite in people that aren't 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 necessarily your developers or testers, so as far as that process right there, have you seen any any success there?
Yeah. Like all our testers are not in house. They are not kind of like QA. They're
Okay.
all kind of like people who have found us either on kind of like events or heard
Hmm.
about us through the grapevine, um, which is kind of like a very, very promising things. When we kind of open up, because we always do kind of like when we do testing, we open up for people to apply and we give out some keys. The first time we did that, we had 200 signups the first day, which was
Wow.
really amazing.
Wow.
And we just had an event at the Norwegian Spill Expo, which is Game Expo, which is the largest game convention in Norway. And then we had about like 150 newsletter signups from those 2 days, and we had
Hmm.
about like 250 people through our stand playing the game.
Wow.
and a lot of feedback and a lot of people who returned. And we had one guy or multiple guys that kind of like they stayed because they wanted to kind of like do it better than each other, and that was really funny for a demo.
Nice, very nice. So if somebody right now, if somebody listening to this right now wanted to find your game on Steam right now.
We're not on Steam just yet. It will have the store up very soon. But the best thing you can do if you want to play it, just join the newsletter from pineleafstudio.com or dwarfheim.com.
Got it.
Basically, we give out some alpha keys there, beta keys very soon. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So Hans, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me today. As we wrap this up, is there anything upcoming that you want to talk about, your social media feeds or anything like that?
Well, you should keep watch. We will show some cool stuff really soon, but I can't tell you. I'm sorry.
Of course, no, that's fine. That's fine. I believe you guys on Twitter are is it let me find it real quick. Is it at Pineleaf Studio? Yeah.
Yeah,
no?
At Dwarfheim. Yeah.
At Dwarfheim.
Yeah.
Dwarf HEIM.
Correct.
Oh. There, let me see if I can spell it right. Dwarf. My spelling is horrible. Dwarfheim, HEIM. There it is, at Dwarfheim. At Dwarfheim on Twitter. PineleafStudio.com. Sign up for their newsletter there. So, like Hans just said, if you want access to beta keys that he will be providing hopefully soon, you can go to PineleafStudio.com or Dwarfheim.com. Sign up for the newsletter there. Get their information. I recommend it. I know I will be definitely signing up for one of these keys. The concept behind this game is interesting. I love StarCraft very much, and so to take the RTS concept to the next level for me sounds really fascinating. I try to stay on top of some of these new games and play the betas when they come out. Hans, thank you for making time to talk to me. We're all the way across the world, because right now where I'm at, it's in the morning, but where you are, it's sort of I'm in the afternoon in the evening right now, right?
Yeah, that's right. But thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
No problem. Everybody tune into the Esports Lab YouTube channel, as well as our Twitter feed at the Esports Labs. Thank you very, very much for taking time to stop by and watch this. We will see you all very, very soon.